Good evening and welcome to Love, Real Love Does Exist by the Fire Pit. And this is with Love and Life. I am Bad Girl, also known as BG. Welcome to Love and Life podcast. And you are?
I'm Rhonda.
Rhonda.
And I'm Sam.
Rhonda and Sam. Thank you guys for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having us.
It's wonderful. So we're just trying to get a perspective of different couples and their walk in love, especially Black love. So can you tell us how have you guys are married?
Yes,
ma'am.
You're married. So how long have you been married?
Well, it's a long story.
Which
that.
which time?
Which time?
What's time?
We are actually a reconciled marriage. So
Okay.
the first time we were married was 1991. And then the second time we were married was here in this neighborhood in 2021.
Yes.
So in 91 when you guys married, you were married for how long?
14
For
years.
14 years.
And then we were married in 2021. So a total of 16 years basically of marriage, of legal marriage.
Okay, so what was it that made you say I should do this again? Like,
Well, it was time.
okay,
We got back together in 2016. He had a son by then, and from a different marriage. And basically, I had to learn about forgiveness. I had to learn a lot about forgiveness, and so did he. And we decided, you know what, we're nearing the end of our life. We're halfway there, and we need to come together as a couple, learn each other again. It's all about forgiveness. We've actually known each other 40 years.
wow. So you guys have known each other for 40 years. Where did you meet?
It was at a high school after party. So it was at a friend's house. He was 16. I mean, I was 16. He was 18. He was the break dancer, and I fell in love.
Uh-oh. Was it love at first sight?
For me, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
We once we saw each other, the chemistry was there. But I was only home for a short time. I'm a veteran, so at the time I was active in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
So it was like my little military break. And when I came back, I was like telling my cousin, "Hey, I gotta find that girl.
And I was telling him the same thing. I
And
gotta find your cousin.
He was like, "You sure you mess with her? Her dad is a preacher. He's in the army. He was in the army, and he's Secret Service." I said, "I'm a Marine. I don't care."
Okay. All right.
But yeah, and then we met up again, had a date.
Yep. And it was actually 40 years ago this Thanksgiving. It'll be 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's commendable. So you guys have children?
He has a child, 16 years old. My stepson, my bonus son. I adore him. It's a handful, but I'm learning. And so it's going well.
Okay. So with that, so what is it that you guys do so you've been married the second time for 2 years, going on 2 years. So what is it that you do that you're doing differently than you did the first time around to keep the spark going, to, keep each other going?
Right. I know that I don't hold back anymore.
Okay.
I don't let anything slide. I communicate a lot more. I pray a lot more. And if I need help, I will reach out for help, whether it's for a friendly neighbor, whether it's for Christian guidance. I don't have really mother and father support anymore, but I will reach out and I'll get help to help me decide, okay, what move should I make next? How should I communicate things? And listening. I think we're both big listeners now, and we chalk it out. We really get at it. This is no joke. It's nothing to play with. You have to be really serious when it comes to marriage and making it work.
A lot of young people, or what we've been taught, is that marriage is a fairy tale, but we know that that's not the case. So what advice would you have? What advice would you give to any young couples that are embarking upon new relationships or committed relationships, whether it's marriage or just being in a commitment? And I assume, based off of the fact that you guys have married each other twice, that marriage is important. Am I right? Okay.
You want me to go first? Go. All right. So, for me, I think that marriage is important. I don't think it's good to jump into a relationship and just date for the rest of your life. Some people make it work, some don't. But if you want it to be a godly union and blessed by God and to, something to cherish and hold forever and ever, I think marriage is number one importance. And, what makes it work is, like I said, a lot of communication. You've got two different people from two different families, two different lifestyles, and you got to be able to work it out. Continue doing things together, get outdoors together. We love doing outdoor stuff. So, um, definitely a union, between you, God, and each other is what's important.
Okay, and I know Rhonda comes from a religious background. I heard her say that you said that her dad was a preacher.
Yes.
So what does that look like for you? So was religion a big thing for you in
Yes.
your upbringing?
I grew up in a church home, so we've got that same background, and it meshed well together. The communication, like she said, is key. Know yourself and be serious about the relationship prior to even moving forward. But just definitely know your spouse, know yourself, and what you want. Communicate, get your career together. So a lot of people try to invest in a relationship when they're still trying to get to that mark where you get your coins, your money. And if you're not set in your career, you're still going to be striving. Somebody's moving forward and you're moving back. So don't even include nobody in it until you're ready to get yourself together.
Okay.
So, I mean, I have a stressful job now as well. So I left the Marine Corps and now I'm in law enforcement. So a lot of times I'm gone. So the time I spend with her is precious. So we have a mobile home. We try and just travel with that in between my son's activities with football and stuff. But she reminds me, hey, we need a date night. We need to go out and do something. So she holds it to me, to the fire. Like, so I pay attention to her, and she's real serious about this relationship. And she's holding me to it. Back in the day, she was real shy, laid back, and I kind of like did what I wanted to do.
Well, life has a way of teaching us, right?
Oh, I got beat up. Yeah,
right?
I learned my lesson.
How to adjust. So
she walked away from me. That was my lesson.
So she walked away from you. Okay.
And then he called me back.
Okay.
I was 22. He was 24 when we got married. We, to this day, I say we were too young. We weren't ready. But we were in love. And literally a week after we got married, not even a week, 3 days after we got married, we were in a almost near fatal car accident. We survived, and it woke us up and everything. We started following God a lot closer after that. And he wasn't called to war. We got married because he was going to be called to Kuwait.
Yeah, I got orders, but I completed my obligation to the Marine Corps, and they couldn't make me go. So I was able to stay home.
Got married within 1 week. I was like, man. But it worked.
Yes.
But it worked.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. I'm glad of that. Is there anything else? I'm sorry I interrupted because I asked what advice would you give, and then I went somewhere else. But what advice would you give a young couple that is embarking upon a committed relationship that's really seriously thinking about marriage? And why should I or why should I not?
Well, seek guidance, because when you're young, you think you know everything, but it's a long way to go. So either through your church or your faith, whatever it may be, an older person that can give you guidance, and just take your time. There's no rush. We found each other after years, so there's no rush. If it's meant to be, whatever God has for you, it's for you.
It will be here. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I also think it's important to know each other's past. I know that he wasn't raised with a father all of his life. But my parents were married for 44 years. My mother passed on their 44th anniversary. So I knew what it meant to commit to one another and to fight through it no matter what. So get to know what it's like, and that helps with forgiveness. You realize, okay, he didn't experience this when he was younger and growing up. So that's how you learn. I'm going to cry.
Don't cry. Wherever you need to cry, cry, but it's beautiful. Love brings tears and happy tears. Those are happy tears. So if you need to share those happy tears, I'm just happy that it looks like you guys are connected and you love one another. It's evident because we've talked about second time around, and it's normally not with the same person.
Right.
So this is different. It just shows, the commitment that you guys have for one another, the true love that's there when you understand or you've been through a walk together and you've seen the downs, but you've signed up again for it because there apparently is some true love there. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us this evening. We appreciate your being candid with us and sharing your story and being open with us. It really is a pleasure and a blessing. But may you guys have many, many more years together, many more years of happiness together. And love and life. Thank you.